everyone, Barry from Hole in One Success here. How are you doing? I'm here in my backyard, kind of fooling around with my golf swing again, doing a little bit of practice because I don't get a chance to do that much practice on the driving range, so I'll do it here in my backyard. But I want to talk to you today about a really common problem I see with a lot of my students, and it really relates back to the backswing and how they move their bodies on the backswing. I get a lot of students that they'll come to me and they say they want to work on their downswing, they want to work on their release, and they want to use the ground for more power, and they want to work on their consistency. But that really starts with your backswing. And if you don't deal with how you take the club back properly, then it's really going to be a lot more difficult when you come back through the golf ball to try to be consistent and do all those things you want to do. One of the most common problems I see with golfers when they take the club back is they don't rotate back properly, they don't pivot properly, and as a result they kind of stand up and move off the golf ball. And when you do that, you're losing your posture and you're not turning and pivoting, and then that causes another compensating move on the downswing. So I've got my tour striker here, plane station here. I'm just going to use this to demonstrate. I'm going to set up here. I'm going to get this up off my lead side here, my lead up by my head and my ear here, just to demonstrate. So what happens, the golfers, they take the club back and they do this. They go back and they're trying to overswing, or they just can't move properly because maybe they've got some mobility issues, but they take the club back and they go like this. We see this big drift of the upper body away from the golf ball, and they stand up. Or they go like this and they got this big overturn here, and they're really wrapping around their shoulders trying to take that club back too far. And you can see when I do that how much my spine moves and how much my upper body moves back away from the golf ball. And so what happens on the downswing? Well, I go back here like that. What's going to move first into the golf ball? You're going to lunge with your upper body, and you're going to lunge forward. The head often drifts forward of where they started. And typically what happens with the golf club when you do that, you're going to throw it from out to in, and you're going to pull into it. And now I've got this kind of weak scooping impact position where I shorten up with my lead arm, and I'm kind of scooping it. And contact is really poor, really weak, especially with your irons. The contact will be just horrible, and you just won't be able to hit it solidly. What good players do when they take the club back, they stay very centered. They do have some motion back away, but not very much. They stay very near where they started, very centered turn. You can see when I do that, I'm staying very close to where I started here, up off my lead side here. I'm just turning in place, and now from here, when I turn into the ball, well, I'm going to turn, and you can see my head stays back, my spine stays back. I'm not lunging forward into it, I'm rotating into it, and my upper body stays back. And when I do that, I'll have a much better swing path, and I'm going to have great arm extension at impact right down through here. So I'm going to have a good line of compression from the club head up to my left shoulder, a flat lead wrist, which is great for solid contact with irons. My weight's going to be on my lead side, and your bottom point will be consistently past the ball. You'll improve your iron play tremendously, and you'll also maybe pick up some speed without hitting the ball harder, which would be great, especially off the tee. Now, a lot of you probably don't have one of these at home, these plane stations. A simple way to work on this, I'll just demonstrate. I'm going to move this aside here for a second. Got my teaching mat here. I've just got a small little stick here, plastic stick. You can find these anywhere. I'm just going to push it in the ground. I'm going to put a ball underneath here, just underneath that stick. I might move it up here a little bit closer. I'll just adjust that a bit. There we go. And all I want to do when I'm swinging, I don't want my view of the ball to change too much. So I use this as a reference point. So when I'm swinging, I'll move that up even a little bit more if I want. So when I go back, I don't want this reference point changing. I don't want that viewpoint changing. So if I drift up and over to the right a bit, what happens? I'm looking at the other side of the ball, and my reference point, my view of that stick has changed. Same with going forward. If I go like this, my view of that reference point has changed. That's telling me I'm not rotating, I'm not staying centered. So again, let's work on that backswing, make that good rotation and stay centered, and it's really going to help you on the downswing. It's not how far you go back, it's how well we turn. So give that a try. Hope to see you again. Leave your comments below if you want some help with your backswing or your other parts of your game. We'd be glad to help you out. And we'll see you again. Play some golf, have some fun.